things first. Differentiate, replace r with 3. 3r squared, multiply the 2 to get 6r. Differentiate the minus 5r to get minus 5. Huh? I can't. Okay, so I had to take a photograph of it. Yeah, turn the light off. That any better? Okay, come closer then. Connor, come closer. Okay. R equals 3. So replace r with 3. 6 times 3 minus 5. You're going to get 18 minus 5, which is 13. Everybody pretty much got that one now. Okay, next one. Find the coordinates of which the tangent to this curve is parallel to the line here. Lads, when it's parallel to a line, it means it has the same slope as this line here. The slope of this line is y equals mx plus c. Okay, and if you compare directly down, what's the m value? This means your slope is 2. In differentiation, what is the slope? First derivative. Differentiate once, and when you differentiate once, what happens? We get 4x minus 2. If you don't know how to do the question, but you think it's a differentiation question, differentiate once, pick up 40% of the attempt marks. Okay? We know that the slope equals 2, and we know that the first derivative is the slope. Slope equals 2. Solve this equation. Bring 2 over to your side. 4x equals 4, and then x will equal 1. You're asked the word coordinates. What does the word coordinates mean again? X and y. You have the x value, but you do not have the y value. Is there an equation that will give us the y value? It has to be the first one now. I'll tell you why. If you read the question, find the coordinates on this curve. The coordinates aren't on this line. They're just parallel to that line. So the coordinates are on the curve, not the line that the tangent's parallel to. So you got to replace x with 2, or sorry, x with 1. 2 times 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 5. What's that? 2 minus 2? 0, 5. Answer there is 1, 5. We've done this question before. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Now, excuse me guys. A farmer is growing winter wheat. The amount of wheat he'll get per hectare depends on, amongst other things, the amount of nitrogen fertilizer he uses. So, y is the amount of wheat. Y is a number, that's the amount. It depends on how much N we use, okay? Now, this question could be anything. It could be about stock, it could be about investment, it could be about distance and time. It doesn't matter what it's about. What matters is, what type of curve is this? If I was to draw that, what type of curve is that? How do you know it's an N-shaped curve? Minus something squared. So you know it's an N-shaped curve. Straight away you know it has a maximum point, because it's an N-shaped curve. It goes up and it goes back down again. That's pretty much everything we need to know, okay? Now, first thing is, how much wheat will you get per hectare if you use 100 kilograms of nitrogen? How much you get per hectare is the Y value. You want to know the Y value when we're using a certain amount of the nitrogen. So what can you do here, guys? Sorry? Sub in what? 100 kilos. And what you get there? 9,200, is it? 9,200. Now, some of you are really smart and you picked up a lot of attempt marks just by knowing how to use the calculator function. You went to your table function, you put it in, okay, and you did 32n. Was it 32? X, yeah. Now, 32x, and then you put your minus 0.1 x squared. Now, what'd be a good number to start off with? You know you have to use 100 kilograms. So what'd be a good number to start off with? Let's go with 0. Let's end at 200. What do you think your gap should be? If you're going from 0 to 200, do you think going up in ones would be a good idea? No. So go up in 20s or 10s, one or the other, okay, and have a look what happens. So what happens here? We start off small. If we use no fertilizer, we get 7,000 kilograms of wheat. As we go down the line, when we get to 100, we get 9,200 grams. You can see at the moment, the more fertilizer we use, the more wheat we get. Would you agree with that? Yeah. When we use 70, we get 8,750. When we use 90, we get 90,070. Does it reach a maximum point? Yeah. It's still rising. Still rising. All of a sudden, still rising. Still rising. What happens there? It drops. And what can you see? 160 is the max. We got to prove that 160 is the max. So straight away, you can write down this. When n equals 160, your y value is 9,560. Somebody did that in the exam, haven't got a clue how to differentiate, or max or min, and picked up half marks just from using that. You got more marks to you got some marks to differentiating properly, okay, and in the right part. So in part 2, if you start differentiating, you'll get some marks. I'll talk to you at the end of class, okay? So guys, it's dy what, guys? Dy dn. First term is dy dn. And what happens when you differentiate it? The 7,000 turns to 0. The 32n turns to 32. The 0.1n squared, the 2 multiplies by the 0.1. 0.2n. What happens when at your maximum point the slope is equal to 0? So put this equal to 0 and solve it. Bring the 0.2n over to your side and we get 32 equals 0.2n. You want the n on its own, so where does the 0.2 go? Anybody know? Over 32. It's multiplied by 0.2 on the right, which means when you bring it underneath, it's going to be divided by 0.2. And what happens when you do that? N equals 160. Now, what is the maximum amount of wheat produced? Well, you know that the answer is going to be 9,560. We got to show where we got that number from. How do you show where you got that number from? What equation gives you the y value? What equation gives you the y value? We can see it here, can't we? It's this equation here, okay? So what you can do is just there it is there, okay? So we can just bring this further down. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so this equation here we used earlier. Okay, we're going to bring it all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to use it now. So it's going to be 7,000 plus whatever n is minus 0.1 times n squared. And what's n squared, guys? What number do we need to put in for the maximum? We identified it earlier on. 160 is where it's at its maximum. You can put this into your calculator now, or you'll know what the answer is already, don't you? When you put all of this into your calculator, as it looks, it'll turn out to be 9,560 kilograms. Is that alright?